we are in an era that things are changing very fast, and it keep on changing faster. So we just want to make sure that we use past data and current data and kind of trying to project a little bit toward the future so we can better prepare ourselves. So there will be a series of workshops that will take different angles of what we touched based in 2017 and kind of try to figure out where those will be heading towards 2018-19, and I'm kind of projecting to 2022. Okay, so we took a 4 years period where we think that to project further than 2022 does not make sense. And now, why 2022? I don't really know why. We just picked up, it sounds good, 2022. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it was not really any particular thing, but because today everything is changing so fast, so it's sometimes not even worthwhile wasting the time on projecting because it changed. So if you have any questions, obviously stop me. I mean, I expect you to ask, and hopefully I know the answer. So introduction, we touched based on that also. We had a session only on the digital world, the way we can utilize it to our advantage as an agent, as a developer, and anyone that is in the real estate industry, just to go back to it and draw some figures to you. The average person today in America is about 5 hours on the internet, either through the mobile or through others, but the browsers. But we are all the time here. I see Dan over there right now is on the phone. You know what I'm saying? It's like all the time. It's non-stop. Obviously, you can see it on early generations today. My kids, for example, even though I'm saying you're not allowed, it's like the tendency to go because they see us doing it. So we are living in the digital world, and we want to understand how through that, and how does it affect us, and how does it impact our future. So just to kind of put things in perspective, we are there, and everything that we have known today with the changes that we went through, I believe that we are just adding like the real change. Okay, so the way things change are very fast, but it keep on getting faster. So just for a projection of what are we facing, it's not only in the real estate, which is technologically wise, is behind. If you go to the car industry, this graph is already there because we do not see taxis anymore. We have the Uber and others. So some industries are already climbing up when we in the real estate still don't utilize technology to the capacity that I believe we're going to use very soon. So this is from a digital perspective, and we are talking about how do we connect with the outside world today versus how did we connect in the past. Now, when I'm saying the past, we still do see ads, actual ads, like digital, like tangible ads on billboards and so. But see the changes over the years from 2012 to 2017. This is a reflection of the digital market increase every year versus this is the traditional way of advertisement, and this is specifically for real estate, which you see that it's either 0 or below in most cases. So today, when a developer thinks to advertise the new product, he probably going to advertise it on the digital world rather than on the physical world. So New York Times ads, as we know it from 10 and 15 years ago, obviously fall in here, and therefore you see that it's like on the verge of disappearing. Okay? So we all live in the digital world, and you see that all the advertising money, or most of the advertising money, is going into the digital world. Few things that we all know. I'm not going to touch based on that because we all know it. Digital methods, cost effective. We can keep things accountable. We have good statistics as a back end. We know exactly how much we put in, and we know what is the return of investment coming out. We had a whole session about it, I think two workshops ago. Target customers, we can target the customer, we know where to reach him, we can identify based on many variables that the customer is willing to share, and therefore we custom tail the advertiser to the specific person in the specific area, and as a result we know exactly how much our advertised money is working for us. Any questions about that? I mean, I'm repeating a little bit, but I just want to bring it to how the digital market is working and will impact us very soon. Okay, so again, the online search for homes. We are looking for the consumer perspective. More than 90% of the people are looking through the browsers and through the apps. Okay, so the digital world, when I am a potential renter or I'm a potential buyer, I probably 90% chance gonna go through the digital world to look for my next space. Okay, those are big numbers, guys. You can see that 90% looking for their next living situation, searching online, and 60% going to the mobile. You have the blue section is the frequently and occasionally it's the small, but you see that most of the people today are going to digital tools to look for the next place. What should I? Obviously, there is no free lunch. I mean, we all know that digital, that's the way to go. But we all know that it's not easy, and we are very frustrated about it. And we had the recession. If you remember, Mindnet Creative came and explained to us, the agents, brokers, developers, how to interact with the social media, digital marketing. And it's not simple, because you know today, searching and doing it every day, that you are not coming up. You are posting and you are not coming up. You are not exist. And that's part of the fact that it's a multi-level advertisement that you need to do in the digital market to appear. And obviously it costs a lot of money, which the common person doesn't have. So if you go and you can read the quotes, painful to set yourself apart from the fray. How do you do that? How do you do it? Everyone is in the digital today. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you were revolutionary if you advertised in digitally. You know what I'm saying? Today, everyone is there. So how do you set yourself apart? It's hard. Extremely complex field. How many times I post? When do I post? How am I targeting the right audience when I'm posting? It's all questions that it's very hard to figure out as an individual. Obviously, we all know Zillow, Trulia, StreetEasy, and others that becoming the conduits to the outside world. We know that. We are like, those are our ears and eyes and throughout the senses. Without them, we don't know how to exist. And we kind of understand where we are getting. Another quote that we just found, popular online listing sites recently instituted a pay-to-play system. StreetEasy decided in the city, you don't know him, but StreetEasy in the city it's like the MLS of New Jersey. They instituted about 3 or 4 months ago that you have to pay $3 a day per listing. It was for free. So the agents and the broker community that utilized StreetEasy as their MLS was against it, got together and decided to pull all their listing away, thinking that StreetEasy is going to say, okay, we are sorry, we are apologizing, we are dropping the cost again. And obviously, StreetEasy did not apologize and did not reduce the cost and did not change. The consumer side, which we touched base, which was the 90% of us looking there, told the brokers and the agents, guys, put it back because otherwise we're not going to see it. So they had to go back into StreetEasy and keep on posting, and they're paying the $3. So that point, about 4 or 5 months ago, was the first time there was a collision between the agency brokers and those conduits, those digital conduits that help us to reach the outside world, which is the residents, that there was a collision. And the fact of the matter is that StreetEasy won. And we'll see further what happened over there between StreetEasy and other agencies. Today, Zillow, which owns few of those digital conduits, are controlling 50% of the market. Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia are literally 50% of the market. All the leads, everyone who wants to go through anything has to go through them. They are about last quarter, over 200 million inquiries a month. Okay, just so we kind of get the numbers. 200 million inquiries a month going. You see here, Zillow has 20 times more visitors than the national most popular real estate brokerage, which is RE/MAX, okay? 20 times more per month for who we think RE/MAX is the biggest real estate agent. So just so get some numbers, you know, it's big numbers. It's a giant. And we all kind of look at it for more. I'm posting in Zillow, but understand, and we know why, because it's the best return on the investment we have. But understand that there are big numbers behind it. And slowly but surely, they are controlling the market, 27%. Okay? To the point, I want to kind of take you to other industries, to the hospitality, just to understand what's going in another industry that, to my opinion, is ahead of us. Now remember that the title of this workshop is that developers will clean toilets by 2022. Okay, that's like the title. So I'm kind of want you to, again, it's not that I know that that's what will happen, but that's what I think going to happen. And I want you to kind of look at other industries in order to prove my point. So we talked about the digital market, and we saw how the residents, our clients, are just going through the web to look for their next place to live. Let's look at the hotel industry, which went through this revolution a little bit earlier than us, who are about to go through, and see here, Booking.com, which you all know, and this is things that is already in our life. When we look for an hotel, we're probably going to go to Booking.com, Expedia, and others of those web search, because they just have more info for us, and they are elaborating, they are collaborating together a lot of info, so it's easy. Online travel agencies own about 80% of the industry that project to generate 817 billion sales to 2020. So this online, I mean, when 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when you thought about hotel, you thought about Hilton, you thought about Best Restaurant. I mean, you had the entities of the hotel upserved. Today, when you think about going to an hotel, you think about Booking.com. And which means that the hospitality industry is, in a way, controlled by the digital world, because it's a digital entity. Booking.com doesn't have assets. It just a site that you go to in order to book yourself through a real asset. So keep that in mind, okay? Keep that in mind, because I'm implementing that to our own world, which is our real estate world, which is the residential. Okay? I'm implementing it. Just keep it in mind. I'm going to another example, which we all know, Airbnb. And I'm bringing Airbnb because Airbnb is like, some of you maybe have an Airbnb, some of you definitely booked through Airbnb. Airbnb is taking an existing asset that was not necessarily meant to be an hotel and turning it into an hotel. They are not owning the asset. Airbnb doesn't own the asset. Airbnb is just a conduit for consumers to book an hotel. And when I'm saying an hotel, it's not necessarily an hotel, it's maybe an apartment, maybe it's a basement, maybe it's a room within an apartment. Airbnb in the hospitality takes from the traditional hotel 49% in 2016. So 49% of the people who wanted to book an hotel in a traditional way through Expedia, I mean I'm calling it traditional, but it's through Expedia and all the digital world, 49% of them went into Airbnb instead. Okay, so there is another level here of the digital world. Okay, another level of the digital world. Any questions regarding introduction? The idea of this introduction is to kind of throw some number in the air to understand today that we are all in the same boat. We slowly but surely losing contact with our potential customer. The developer does not know who is the customer. The developer does not know what the customer wants. The developer does not have the contact info of the customer. I mean, today you know that we have it. But when you sign up to Airbnb and I own the basement, I don't know who you are. Airbnb know who you are. Okay? When you go to Hilton and you signed up to Expedia, Expedia know who you are. Hilton doesn't necessarily know who you are. Yes, you come to the front desk, but you are a customer of Expedia. By the way, Expedia, the person who owns Expedia, own also Zillow, Trulia, and Rent.com. So those three that control 50% of the market are owned by the same person who own Expedia. So just so you kind of see the trend that goes. They also own Glass Ceiling, which is on the workplace perspective. So you can see the trend of how we slowly but surely are relying on a conduit, okay? And this is the introduction. Now, the online platform have problems. And one of their main problems, any question, by the way, any questions about the introduction? The point is kind of clear? Okay, so the online platform have one main problem, which we gonna touch base on it. In a minute before, let's look at the Zillow mission statement, and I kind of highlight connecting them with the best local professional who can help. Okay? My question is, who are the professionals? So, Steve, who do you think are the professionals?
Me.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes?
Individuals who pay the most money to be highlighted on that site, and they get the first click.
Okay, by the way, you know the Premier, for Zillow, the Premier product, it's a product for them, like from Zillow perspective, when they come with the Premier agent, it's a product. The Premier agent product, I don't know if you know, 98% of Zillow, 98%, it grew up from last year, 98% for Zillow. It reflects close to 80% of their income. Okay? 80% of the income is the premier agent, which started like 2 years ago. It's like overwhelming numbers. When you go to their financials, it's a traded company. You can see their financials. It's go exponentially, like and it's over 5,000. A person that pay, an agent that pay over, or an agency that pay over $5,000 a month, the growth on that product for them, 98% from last year. Okay, it's crazy, and I know that many of us own it, many of the agents own it.
Does that include like Trulia and any of the other subsidiaries of Zillow that were acquired recently?
Yes.
That's a total number?
The total number. Okay? And I don't know, I mean, some of you are not in the agent, they created a product called Premier. So if you give me a listing, usually the person who has the listing is the person that is connected to the listing. Zillow came with a product that says, listen, the fact that you got the listing, it doesn't mean that you are the best person to sell the product. So they disconnect between the agent who got the listing to the person that is getting the leads, that called Premier Agent. So if you pay $5,000 a month and more,
are we spending $5,000 now on Zillow leads or not?
we were spending close to, I think last year, maybe 10 or 11,000 a month on that. Because we tested it and it was at the beginning. But it didn't work out for us, and it didn't work out for many others, though the retention from Zillow perspective on that, it's about 50%. So 50% of the people that are trying it, repeating it. Follow? 98% growth, like people think that it's doing amazing, but only 50% stay to do it the next year. Which is not good, but there are reasons for that. They analyze the reason, and now they have solution for that. And this is part of the advantage that the digital market has. Statistics is amazing for them. So they can fix the problem to increase retention, which we touch about it, and just keep that in mind. They can fix problems very quickly. Yes?
So the agent pay for himself to be active?
Yes, I mean, every agent can say, I'm a premier agent. To Zillow, I'm paying them $5,000.
And then
when I'm searching for condo in Jersey City,
you will come up.
I will be up, even though it's not my listing. For 8 out of 10 times, the person who search will call the premier listing.
So to the end user, the premier agent looks like the...
Looks like,
yes.
Right. Now, Zillow say, so somebody told Zillow, listen, you are cheating, you are like, they say no. We believe that the person who can pay the $5,000 is a better agent than the one who got the listing, because he cannot afford paying us. Now, further than that, if you look, I mean, I can go and go on it, but if you look at they take Zillow, you say, oh, they are behind the scene, they know what's going on. No. You and Zillow see the same thing. So if they turn the dashboard to you, and how is the rate being determined? Like, why is it 5,000 or 10,000? Well, it's based on demand. So as there are more agents who are willing to pay to be premier, you are pushing more and more money to that specific box. So it's going. So there's a competition on that. So in 07302, which is that zip code, our zip code here, there is a lot of demand. Okay, there is a lot of demand. There is also supply from a market. Forget about the agent for a second, or the broker, or anyone. There is demand and supply because they see the search and they know how much product is being put. They decided that there is a good market and they raised the number, and now the playing field for the agents to compete on the spot is being changed based on demand and supply in the market. So if there is a static market, then the numbers are coming down because there is no transaction. So it's all calculated based on how many transactions, potentially, you have in a market in a zip code. Okay, it's very, I mean, their algorithm is crazy. And they change it probably every 3 months, they change as they see response from the statistics. So it changed on us in the last year maybe 5-6 times. The changes are crazy. But leave that alone. The professionals are who, Steve?
Brokers,
The brokers, okay, keep that in mind. We'll see what you think after that.
No,
Then-
now the people that renting the apartment.
Zillow is a leading real estate and rental marketplace dedicated to empower consumers with data, inspiration, and knowledge around the place they call home, and connecting them with the best local professionals who can help.
The
So
premier-
obviously Steve thinks that he can help, and therefore he is the professional. And that's what many of us think.
And they think it's the premier agent.
I don't know what they think. Let's see. I'm guesstimating. By the way, rent.com, it's all, guys, it's all, we are like living in this world, right? Agents, we are living in that. I mean, we are posting it, we are like advertising to them. Just their mission statement, just so you know what they really want. A place they love until we touch every renter, in every rental property, on the bottom. Across the world, our job is not complete until we touch every renter
Across
in every our job is not complete. Okay, they want to touch every renter. Okay. How can an online platform ensure user retention? So part of the problem, and we kind of went into that, the problem of the online, of the digital world, that it's done digitally nice. I mean, there is a retention there is like rates retentions for app. So, you know, it crash, you don't, and you don't come back to it. But when we are living between the digital world to the real world, because there is real world, right? Somebody need to provide service after that. And when I book through Airbnb, and I go into an Airbnb room, even though it's not their room or their hotel, I still have an experience. So if I'm gonna book through Airbnb and I'm gonna have a shitty experience, I'm not gonna come there again. I'm not gonna go to the digital platform if my real life experience not gonna be nice, right? So that's their biggest problem. So their biggest problem of those digital platforms, once they start to provide service, is that they have hard time to retain the consistency and therefore to retain the users on the digital world. So when we are looking at that, specifically we're going to touch base on Airbnb, residents tie living experience to the online marketplace which they found their current dwelling. Negative resident experience may damage the credibility of the online marketplace. Online platform would minimize this risk by referring its client to the best resident experience provided. So it's very nice to be in the app, and I'm very, I go through, I understand everything that I do. It's very responsive, but then I come to the place and I need to have the same experience. I have to have a life experience. Okay, yesterday somebody came to my office and they show us a nice app for dog walker, and they're using it in two of our buildings. So it's like Uber for dogs. So if you are in work and you cannot reach home, so you can click in and you say, listen, I have the dog, I need to take him out, who is available? And there are dog walkers that are like signed up to the app and say, I can do it, and they go pick it up. The app is amazing. I mean, it's like, you can see where the dog went, you can get the report of how many miles he walked, you know what I'm saying? Heart beating, like the whole night thing, and you rate the dog, not the owner of the dog, and it's like an amazing app. But then, this is in the digital world. Then the real world is that somebody come and take the dog. Somebody need to be there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if the person who come to take the dog decided to go to your apartment and drink few beers, and then when you come home you find him with the dog like laying, that's not gonna cause you to go back to the app and book Uber for dogs, right? So it's the same with Uber. You have a nice experience on the app, but if the driver comes drunk, then it's not a good experience. You're not going to go to Uber again, even though Uber is not the driver and Uber doesn't own the car. But if the experience is not nice, then you're not going to go back to the digital world. So this connection is the biggest problem that those digital webs has. Zillow, Trulia, Street Easy. Right now, they are just connecting between two people. But I don't believe they're gonna want to stay there. I believe, like Expedia, they connect you to Hilton, right? Hotel.com, they connect you and Best Restaurant. They just make a connection. Yes, sometimes you pay them, but they still make a connection. Airbnb are charging for it, and they are responsible for the experience of it, and they understand it. So Airbnb, it's not easy task to take a diverse group of homeowners and establish a reliable level of consistency from one property to the next. But consistency is exactly what business travelers expect. Okay, Airbnb, they have a problem. It's a big problem. And they are dealing with it on a daily basis. Now they have no choice, but we'll find out what they need to do. Customers are no longer buying products and services. They are buying experiences delivered via the products and services. Okay? We'll see there is another Airbnb question that software engineers wrote. We are consumers, but we are no longer consumers of tangible. We are consumers of the intangible. The experiences is what matter. And in order to deliver the experience, Airbnb realized that they have to go a step further. They have to penetrate into the real world. They have no choice. Yes, I want to be a digital platform. It's it's scalable. I can move very fast. I can expand everywhere. I don't need to build a building. I just need to market it. But then, when people are coming to me and they have a shitty experience, they are not coming back. So what they realized, and I'm talking about the last 2-3 months, they realized that they have to have a service that co-hosting. So Airbnb encourage owners to hire professional hoster for a fee ranging between 10 to 20% of the transaction. So yes, I have the basement, and I signed it up to Airbnb, but the person who came to Airbnb to use the basement did not like it as much, and he rated me 3. Airbnb saw that for a few times my rating went up and down. They call me and they tell me, listen, Eyal, you have a wonderful place. It's very needed in your area, but apparently I'm not doing such a good service. Why don't you hire ProHost, which is Joe, who is qualified, who went to training to manage your basement? Okay, as of 3 months ago, it started. So now, in order for Airbnb to provide consistency, in order for Airbnb to make sure that the person who went the first time going to come the second time, they have a qualified management or experience provider to the specific asset. So it all go through the Airbnb experience, from the app all the way to the real life experience. Okay? So this is one thing that they do in order to maintain the level of experience that the customer has.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just read an article about the service called ZenPlace, and
Which one?
I just read this article called about ZenPlace. It's a service in San Francisco that restaurants are using, where you go, you don't need to be accompanied by an agent. You go to the door, you put in the passcode, and then when you walk into the house, you're greeted by a robot that with the agent's face talking to you during the walkthrough for rental property. During the walkthrough, as it taking you throughout the house. You can actually do the application at the end if you want to complete it all on this one screen. But that takes away the human experience, I think. You know, you can touch people and talk to them, you know, really connect. But that's what's going on in San Francisco.
So I said,
How it's called?
It's called ZenPlace.
I mean, you touch a point which we brought it, you know, many times before, because we're always looking at it as a threat, right?
Right.
For us, for our agency. But the technology in our world, in the real estate world, is at the beginning. Is at the beginning, and there will be more who are going to apply.
Right, yeah.
We can touch base on it, but you talked about the human experience, and you see that why is it a problem for the digital world? Because the people who are using the platforms are all about the experience. They are all about getting the life experience out of it rather than buying. Okay, so you see it here. Experiences rather than consumer goods, okay? So we see that the millennial, which if you look here, 81 million, I mean, that's the boomers, obviously declining because, passing away, but the millennial here where all the market is looking at, okay? We already know who they are, yes.
Would you relate that statement to the idea of renting versus buying amongst millennials?
Yes, many things, yes, 100%. I mean, yeah, 100%. Because if I have more disposable income to go surf in Costa Rica, rather than buying an asset that I don't really enjoy, or I just put my head, I prefer to rent and to go surfing, right? It's for everything. You prefer to eat in a restaurant rather than own real estate or a car, right? Owning a car versus having an experience in Uber. You're getting from point A to B. Where do you prefer to spend your money?
It's cheaper.
And technology allow it because you can share, so it will make everything more efficient, right?
Do you guys have any data on whether or not millennials actually value the human experience, to Doris's point?
No, I thought about it as he said it.
Yeah.
I thought about it, and maybe there is data. Again, everything is like at the beginning. So, but we're gonna be looking, Liran gonna be looking for that, just to see how much millennials value. I mean, they want the experience, but what is the value of the human experience?
Right.
So, I don't know. It's like you have to value somebody else in that process. And I don't know how much millennials value somebody else.
So when I
They're
ask
talking about it,
millennials-
but I don't know if they really value somebody else.
When I ask millennials, I get one answer. When I ask Gen X and beyond, I get different answers. So I'm curious to see if there's any real data.
We can look into that. Going back to the experience, I think that it's the inevitable match is that in order for the digital world, the digital platform, the real estate digital platforms, which is Zillow, Trulia, StreetEasy, as they grow, like Airbnb had to do, they will have to partnership with resident experience providers. So in our world today, resident experience providers are potentially management companies, right? You still need the human touch to it. So the property management aspect is one way to deliver, for Zillow to deliver the experience. So one would think that Zillow maybe need to meet a developer. One would think that StreetEasy maybe need to go to asset provider, like asset holders, people who has buildings. But even if they bring the residents to that building, it doesn't mean that the resident will have the right experience. So they are focusing on the experience provider managers rather than the asset managers. Follow? Because it's all about the experience. They don't care if the individual live in 109 Christopher or in 36 Bauer. Once he went through Zillow and he signed up and he paid the rent through Zillow, he wants to make sure that he's gonna have the right experience. So the body that delivers the experience, like Airbnb has now ProHost, it will be ProHost potentially for property management. That's what they're going to be looking for, because we assume that they will want to control the market, like they say, and that they will no longer allow you to know who are the residents. They will retain the residents, like Airbnb does, through their platform, and they will find co-hosts to deliver the experience. The asset, the owner of the building, really doesn't matter to them. Follow? Make sense a little bit?
It's like with Netflix.
Exactly right. Another example.
Owning
I mean, the value is like to the roof now. Yes.
And along with that, excuse me, one of the issues that was reiterated at the Builders Show 2 weeks ago, which was excellent, by the way, was developers are building with much smaller actual living space and much larger amenity space. So they're actually selling like bed space. I mean, the living space is so small, and the sale or the rental is all about the experience with your outdoor living space and your amenities. And of course, a lot of these were builders from states where it's mild weather, 12 months a year. So the outdoor space was, I think you were one of those classes, really outrageous. I mean, people are living in 500, 600 square feet, small, just like you said, you see a bed and a little kitchen area, and then the amenities are outrageous. I mean, you walk through there, and that's your experience, you know? And that was reiterated in a lot of the presentations at the show, and I found it very interesting.
And Irving's like that. That's
Yeah,
Irving.
like
Right. Let me just maybe shock you a little bit. The utilization of the common areas, of the amenities by the residents across the board are less than 5%. Follow? So, yes, we are all building big amenities. And yesterday I walked Irving. We build amazing amenities, but the utilization is below 5%. So it means that the people who are looking for the experience do not value as much as we think, all of us, because we built it and you bring it up, and that's the first thing that you show. They don't value it as much as we think. Okay? I can tell you also from amenity fee perspective, we have very hard time. As we enter the first resident into the building based on what they see, we can very easily charge the amenity fee. As they settle and they come to the renewal, they have hard time to pay the amenity fee because they are not utilizing the amenities, so they don't see value in it. Okay, so the generation now, I mean, remember the amenities just started maybe. Some of it started 9 years ago before the fall, then it kind of quieted down, then now it's going like crazy. Relatively to the livable space, the amenity space grew up exponentially. If they don't use it, they are not willing to pay for it. Now, when they come to the next building, because they lived in a building with amenity, they are coming with the same ID and they saw the same thing. They saw the pool, they saw the gym, they saw the sound room, they saw everything that you have to show them. They are not willing to pay for the amenity because they know they didn't use it over there and now they're not going to use it again. So we need to make sure that what is their experience? It's a big thing. So what we see today happen is that we need to create events within the amenity, so that's what impact their experience, right? So it's another subject we're going to touch base on. I don't want to get off because it's a whole world. I'm saying many times recently that we are no longer building buildings, we are building resident experiences. Because apparently building amenities do not make any change for them. Okay, so it's like a statement, but it's something that we are doing on a daily basis, and the agent and the realtor community need to think about it also from their perspective. It's not the brick and mortar anymore. It's the experience that they have when they look at the brick and mortar. Follow? In their mind. So, taking it to the future, kind of, and that's where the numbers come to play. So how does it all, I mean, the human behavior, the digital world, controlling the residents, the disconnect between the developer and the residents, the fact that all our resident customers are paying attention to the experience more than to the brick and mortar, we believe there will be a change in the capital stack, meaning people are going to look different on where they put their money. We think that when we buy the asset, when we invest in the asset, we take mortgage, and we're going to make money as a return on investment. When I believe that the attention going to be not necessarily on the asset, on the land and the brick and mortar anymore, going to be on the services that one can provide within those buildings. So if you look at the capital stack and you see gross income 3 million, and we kind of looked at that a little bit, and it's, Adam, look at me, it's not capital stack, I'm using the old terminology, but just to explain, you have gross income of 2 million, operating expense about 1 million, interest principal expense 1 million, and then net operating income 1 million. So you have 33% NOI. When you're gonna go to the future and you know that people don't value the real estate as much, they value more of the experience through the services, your operating expense on providing the services will grow, and therefore the return on investment will go down. We don't believe we're still going to need to borrow money from the bank. So what will happen is there will be a direct impact on NOI. So if there is a direct impact on NOI and I'm an investor, why do I want to invest in the equity portion of a building? Why do I want to invest in the land? I prefer to go invest in the property management who really know how to provide experience to my residents or to their residents. Okay, assuming that the developer doesn't know who are the residents anymore. Okay, so this is like real impact on our real world. So it's all discussion, and it's all estimates and guesstimates, but there might be a major effect on how we look at real estate in the future. Okay? Any questions on that? So I think I'm kind of done with presenting it. It's a little bit hard to digest. We live it every day, I think. So it's hard, and people in the office hear it for me quite some time. Yes, John.
Well, when you say services, and I see $600,000 of services, and you say we're cleaning toilets, could you give me or share with us what you envision is the list of services you're going to have to provide?
Yes, I mean, you're going to have to provide the experience through human interaction. So we're already starting to do it all today, and you see it across. It's becoming like building a pool or building a gym, like everyone did. Now everyone start to bring an instructor to the gym. Everyone's starting to pay a yoga instructor to come to do classes. Everybody is paying a chef, or not everybody, but we pay a chef to come in the summer to do barbecue 101 on the grill in the pool. So people are either bringing their own meat or they come and we cook for them and show them how to cook. So it's all about the interaction within the building, both between the residents themselves and the residents and the management, the staff. Needless to say that today when I'm filling up a work order, if you're not answering and resolving the problem in 24 hours, you are a bad management company. The expectation of service is above and beyond anything that we have known by all level. When Adam is waiting for Uber for over 7 minutes, he's like, it ruined his day. I'm sure it ruins your day also, Kim. I mean, we kind of, from time perspective, we kind of lost it. But it's affecting my experience, you know? I don't want to wait outside. I want to come out and I want the chauffeur to wait for me, right? That's what we have. We have chauffeurs today. In the future, in the past, 30 years ago, a person that had a chauffeur, it was like at the high end of his life. Today, everyone has a chauffeur. So our expectation for service and experiences are going exponentially, and we need to catch up. Now, it's hard to catch up because we are not an hotel, and the intensity is not there. Meaning, you're coming for 3 days to a place that you have nowhere to put your head, you're willing to pay. When you leave, it's a little bit different perspective. So we need the technology more than anyone else to make the services efficient. Okay, so you can check out, there is a website called Hello Alfred. Alfred was the butler, I was told, of Batman. And there is a service that called Hello Alfred. They literally, through the app, you can ask them to go shop for you in the supermarket. They're gonna stack it in your refrigerator. They're gonna go bring your laundry and they're gonna set it up in the closet. They're gonna set up your bed once a week. They're gonna clean your kitchen, not like deep cleaning, just to organize it because you feel like you need it. Obviously, they're gonna clean your apartment. They're gonna walk your dog, and when you are sick, like in this weather,
They're gonna go through your belongings.
We can bring you out to.
when you are sick, they're gonna go bring you the medicine and they're gonna bring you soup also. Okay? So that's where the residents are going. Like everyone has a chauffeur, everyone gonna have a butler. And the person who's gonna provide the butler service is the person that's gonna connect the best with the digital platforms because it will be an equivalent service provider and experience provider. Okay? That's the idea. I don't know too many developers that know how to provide the butler service because they think that they should be getting the butler service and the world is upside down now and they eventually will clean the toilets. Because they don't see it. They don't see that they need to become a butler. So that's why I believe that developers 2022, those who will not understand the importance of the service and the experience, will just end up cleaning the toilet because Zillow gonna tell them, go hire that pro host, he gonna manage your building because you don't know how to manage. Because the experience is not consistent. And we are stop sending you people. We do not let any one of our customers, 200 million a month now, 2022 probably be double or quadruple, to go to your asset because you don't know to provide them the experience that we expect for our residents.
So do you think most developers are stuck in this time warp, or they're evolving and acknowledging experience and what they should do moving forward in the future?
I think there are few. If you go to Hello Alfred, you see that 3 months ago, Related bought them, for example. Okay, Related, we all know who is Related. They are #1 developer in the city. So there are some developers that are in the outreach of the thing. I mean, they are fear for their life from those giants, Zillow, Trulia, Street Easy, and they are doing whatever they need in order to be able to stay relevant. We're going to talk about the next one is how the developers stay relevant. So that's where the market go. They have no choice, but some of them will not make it and some of them will make it. I hope that I will make it. Yes, anything else? Don, what is thumbs up? Like I want to go from here.
I'm saying you're gonna make it, and I'm very excited to be on.
Thanks to you guys, I'm gonna make it, yes. Anything else, any other questions? Yes.
I'm curious to know why you haven't considered or you don't use a lifestyle management company in building like a home.
So there are many of the concierge, you mean, like a concierge?
Well, a management company that would coordinate all the events and provide that trainer and Friday night cooking class, but they would promote it. I mean,
Right.
I have a condo in down the shore for 11, 12 years. We've used a management company, and I've worked very closely with them, NFC, that does all our events. And we're 279 units, but we're extremely close. Like you said, way before all of this movement.
Right.
We're extremely close with events, and I look at my apartment, it's 1,270 square feet condo, but I look at it as my second home because the extension of where we live is just, but a lot of it is provided by the management company, which is the lifestyle management company.
So,
We
so
did this years ago, and I was on the board for many years. And we
I will
voted
be
that
happy
in.
to get the info. Usually they coexist with the management company. So you have a management company for lifestyle and you have a management company for the
Well, yeah, down the
building.
shore, they provide the
Both.
front desk and everything.
Okay, so
We
they
have
are-
a pool, they provide the
They are ahead of the.
lifeguard, all of that.
And do they provide the towels in the pool? Or you need to bring your own towel?
You have to bring it.
Okay, so in the art house, starting this summer, you're gonna have towels in the pool. You understand what I'm talking about? Those are the things that the developers, unfortunately, it costs. It's all coming from my expense. The expense is gonna grow, but I have no choice. Because they are not coming to the pool. So I'm hoping that if they don't need to bring their own towels, they will show up.
So we have events at the White House and at the Ocean Wine tasting events.
Right, but it's
Yeah, we are at the edge of
coordinated
it. Yeah,
by-
we are at the
coordinated
edge.
in-house, correct? I'm just talking about a management company coming in, because then when you sell with that, you know, as part of your package, that you have a lifestyle management company attached to your.
The problem is the management company is the same problem as the developer. The management company, and what is property management? The two words. What is property management? Property management, you manage the property.
Right,
This is history. We need to manage the resident experience. Follow? So it
It's
shouldn't
the
be
lifestyle management.
it's two
Different.
different words.
Yeah, it's
You look
different
at
than
the
our property management.
the brick or mortar, or you look at the experience that the resident has. It's just a matter of where you look. So I mean, there are companies that are more advanced than others.
And then my next statement is, why not start up a lifestyle management company here in Jersey City? But all of this boom, that's my next statement. From here.
Yeah.
The board has to vote it in.
Do you think that,
Correct.
so it seems like there'd be some push-pull between like an Airbnb stepping into this space versus the developer stepping into the space. And I think you made it pretty clear that it puts the pressure on the developer to step into the lifestyle management more. But how do you see that shaking out? Do you see the developers sort of get their act together and Airbnb
No.
stays out of that? Or do you think it ends up like a mixture of the two, or?
I think that the membership clubs, it's always the customer who win, especially when they talk to each other, which we all know that they do. So I believe that Airbnb will push the developers out. So the developers, I think, will extinct from the way they form that we think about it. Like me,
In the current form.
in 10, 20 years from now, I don't think there will be somebody like me. You know what I'm saying? I think the big platforms like Airbnb will be considered to be the developers. They don't necessarily going to own the asset, but they will own the resident experience somehow.
It's interesting because it seems like it would be a little bit circular because for Netflix, they got into content, but once they were into content, they couldn't be a central resource for all content, and then they became more like a content provider, which opens the room for Hulu and other players in the place. So you can't have one singular place that also owns everything because people will eventually start to
So
more
they can
choice.
scale very fast without having the content, but once they start to give the content, they slow down.
Right. So then they would introduce.
That's
like,
what will happen.
so
That's
you
what
have
will
like
happen.
three big.
That's what will happen to
Airbnbs.
Airbnb also, because they cannot scale anymore. They need to provide the experience, otherwise they're going to lose. So now they're going to slow down and going to ProHost and other to just solidify the market and to provide the experience. It will happen to, yes,
They become like a hotel.
with branding, because they also brand within the service. You have ProHost, you have Ultra Post, they have also branding within it, like Hilton have the different names. So
Right.
eventually, it's the real experience in the real world determine how fast you can expand
Right.
once you are leaving the digital platform, right?
Right.
So that's I think what will happen. I don't think that the developer has enough energy to kind of come from the top, right? I asked the bank, we met the bank like 2 days ago, I said, who are you going to lend money to Jill? Amazon or me, the developer? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They have all the customers, right? They have the membership club. Amazon can they can buy Zillow, or they can start their own platform for real estate like in 2 days. Like you go and look for a TV today, you go to Amazon. When you look for apartment, you can go to Amazon also. What's the difference?
Yeah.
It's just they need to make a decision. They have a problem because they don't know how to deliver the experience, so they will not do it yet. But once that's set up, what preventing from Facebook to go and rent a unit? I mean, I'm in this platform all day long, not me, but people, like we saw 5 hours a day, I'm on the phone. What prevent me from going to Facebook to rent an apartment? Nothing. I just need somebody who will deliver me the experience, right? So we'll see how it shake out. Yes, anything else? Okay guys, thank you for coming again, and I'll see you next month.